You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NACS. We'll talk about what we see at stores and what the future may hold for our industry.
Some experts are talking about the impact of higher gas prices that we faced in 2022. What is this doing ultimately to consumer behavior? And is it changing consumer behavior? Will they go further out of their way to go somewhere else? Or will they be more likely to come to you because it's not too far of a trip? That's the discussion we're going to have today about what retailers can look at in figuring out how to define their value in a time of still elevated gas prices. Welcome to Convenience Matters. My name is Jeff Lenard with NACS. And today I'm once again joined by Akhtar Hussain, who is Director of Refined Fuels Marketing with Cenex. So welcome once again, Akhtar.
Thank you very much, Jeff. It's great to be here with you.
So we've talked about your title in the past, but can you give us a sense day to day what your job is like at Cenex in working through solutions for people who are involved with Cenex?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been working with the Cenex brand in a marketing function for 15 years now. And it's been really exciting to see the evolution of the brand and all the changes that the brand has undergone since I started 15 years ago. There's really about three main components to my job. One is really coordinating and directing the marketing and advertising efforts for the Cenex brand. The second is responsibility for the branded incentives that are paid to the Cenex branded marketers. And third is running the retail image and equipment department that facilitates the brand transitions to Cenex.
And I would imagine that includes a lot of time on the road visiting stores and seeing how they've changed, particularly as you continue to roll out this Lift initiative that is a big part of the Cenex offer.
Yeah, the opportunity to see stores and visit with our direct customers is a fun and exciting part of my job. I love getting out into the country and taking a look at how the Cenex brand stacks up against other competitors, as well as just see the innovative ways that our Cenex marketers are leveraging the Cenex brand in their local community. So, when I can get out of the office, it is a fun aspect of my job to get out in the field and see how that looks.
Well, when we teed up the conversation, we talked about value and talked about the idea that some retail experts are speculating that this period of elevated gas prices, they've come down a bit from their peak in June, but they're still elevated. And how might that change consumer behavior as they look for value? I've heard some perspectives that say the idea of Walmart is more attractive because people are more willing to go out of their way and bundle shopping experiences. On the other hand, I've heard from retail experts that say that this is an opportunity to really connect, that you are in a community and you're able to keep people from driving further out of their way because you have everything they need at a time of elevated gas prices. And I assume that based on the community and based on a specific situation, they're both right. But from your perspective, as you look at stores and you talk about the Cenex promise, how do those two apparently opposing positions also align because they are unique to different areas?
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective on it, because I do completely agree with you. I think that the community and the needs of those community members really shape the retail landscape and shape the businesses that those consumers are going to patronize. And so for the Cenex brand, we see this as an opportunity to further solidify our commitment to the communities we serve, regardless of the consumer preference, really, in terms of whether they'd rather go to a big box store or whether they would rather, stay a little bit more local and have more of a convenience oriented experience. Coming out of the pandemic, we did see large shifts in consumer behavior towards using local convenience stores for more than they had maybe 5 to 10 years ago. With the non-essential business closures, Cenex stores in their communities really became depended on differently by the consumers in their markets. And now coming out of the pandemic, where we've seen a rise in energy costs, as you explained, that doesn't really change our commitment to delivering high quality goods and services to those communities, whether that be our top tier gasoline or whether that relates more to the convenience offering in the stores and offering consumers that higher level indoor shopping experience.
And a big word that has been used, and it's certainly a critical component of the offer, is consistency. You need to have a consistent offer. And more important, or in tandem with consistency, I think you touched upon a few other things that relate to the community, that relate to the offer, is the word trust. That you have to be consistent, and it has to be something that people trust, that they trust that you're going to be competitive on price. You're going to have clean stores. You're going to have employees that are happy to be there and happy to serve customers. You're going to have trust that they have great relationships with vendor partners to ensure that as few customers as possible notice any of the supply chain outages. So I would imagine trust is a word that you and others on your team talk about a lot when you talk about how do you communicate that offer and how do you live that offer that you have at your stores?
I think that, trust is a huge element, along with consistency, comfort, safety, and, fair prices. I think all of those things really shape consumer expectation, and that really is what the consumers expect. I think one of the successes the Cenex brand has in all of that is that our stores are locally owned and operated. The people working in the stores, the people owning the stores, or the companies that own the stores have got great reputations in their community. And so really it's sort of a layering effect. We partner with local businesses and local business owners that share in this commitment to community that the Cenex brand has. And so for us, it's just leveraging those strengths. Now, consistency is an interesting one for us because the Cenex brand exists in a variety of communities, in a variety of different types of cities and metropolitan areas. We're in some very rural areas, and we're in some not so rural areas, and the needs of those communities are vastly different. So for us, consistency hinges on the product quality of our energy products, our gasoline and diesel fuel, but it also means consistency inside the store. Now, that may not equate to the same food service offerings, the same footprint, the same size store. However, consistency does mean friendly service, high quality products, fair prices, and high level of customer service. And that is something that not only through our brand promise, but also through the LIFT initiative is demonstrated at the consumer level.
Our industry is known for developing new stores and new offers and constantly evolving with the times. You don't see many stores that are 50 years old, like you might in some other industries where, hey, look at that. That was one of the originals. You constantly see stores that evolve to the next generation. And with Cenex, the next generation is this LIFT initiative. that you have that is taking the stores to the future, or through the present to the future, I guess is probably a better way to say it. Can you talk about the LIFT initiative?
Yeah, there's two components to the LIFT initiative, and this is a project that we started 2 years ago. It's the single largest investment that we've ever made in the Cenex brand, and it consists of two components. One is the exterior image. So this is the image on the forecourt, the canopy, the price sign, the gas dispensers. And that new image that we're rolling out is called the Halo image. The Halo image brings really an enhanced lighting element to the forecourt with a 360-degree light band, additional accent LED logos throughout the canopy, as well as, in many cases, the installation of LED canopy lights. So the focus here is just on offering a modern, bright, safe-looking forecourt environment for those travelers and really trying to grab their attention while they're on the street. But again, in all the discussion we've had about evolving consumer expectations and the different ways that consumers are engaging with their local convenience stores, we knew that was not all we had to solve for. It's a very competitive market right now. There's an emergence of local convenience brands, as well as strong competition by the major oils for the local business owners, sites. And so we knew that we had to come with a solution to help improve the inside of the store, and that was equally important to the outside of the store. And so that other component of the LIFT initiative, in addition to the Halo image, is an in-store loan program where we offer 0% financing for our local store owners to invest in their facilities. And we think by partnering with our local stores and offering them this capital, that we are not only solidifying our commitment to the community, but we're developing trust on that business level with our business partners, understanding that we want to be successful with them into the future. And we want to be that store in the community that is a source of pride, both by our business partner as well as the consumers that are in those markets. We've seen some really exciting projects through the in-store loan program. Everything from renovations to modernizing their food service offerings, introducing digital menu boards and other sorts of digital advertising in the store, installation of those walk-in beer caves that consumers like so much, as well as self-checkouts. Self-checkout is a relatively new phenomenon in the convenience store industry. And we have several stores that have decided to take that leap and provide consumers even more choices as it relates to how they want to engage with their local store. One of our success stories most recently that I can recall is we did a rebuild in Merrill, Wisconsin. There was a store there, but we did a large renovation project where we added a bait and tackle section. The store in Merrill happens to be next to quite a few lakes. And so there was a lot of local fishermen in that market. And so they took that opportunity to differentiate and offer bait and tackle. They also designed the store around the community in terms of the style. They have a log cabin inspired exterior. It definitely has that, kind of North Woods look to it, which again, just makes it fit into that market and really attract those consumers. So again, that consistency means different things. For us, the consistency is around serving the community that in the way that the community expects, and delivering that with a high level of customer service.
And of course, you touched upon the two key things. I think that is essential to retail now. It's getting them to the store and then getting them to come back. And we've done all types of consumer surveys that look at what attracts somebody to a store in the first place. And it is effective lighting. It is feeling a level of comfort that it's a good place to go to, that it's run well. And then you go from the forecourt, hopefully to fill up, to inside the store, and then you start to experience more of the store. There may be things that you intended to go in for, but the store may reveal some other things. And certainly when you walk into a log cabin and you find bait and you find things like that, you probably have a new favorite place when you're a fisherman. But there's all kinds of different ways to excite people about your offer. That, hey, it hits all those key things that we must hit about feeling comfortable about going there. And then you can start telling the story about local and caring and adding these consumer preferences that we increasingly see people want. When we've done consumer surveys, we've asked people, what are these things that you want to see in the future? And what's, I think, important is retailers are focusing on what consumers want. They're not adding self-checkout to save money, although it can save money. They're doing it because customers want it. And that sounds exactly like what's happening at some stores that are introducing self-serve or any of these other innovations as part of your Lyft program or Lyft initiative.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think that's why we've built this program with such flexibility. The Halo portion of the Lyft initiative, that forecourt upgrade, that is a required upgrade. And we expect to have all 1,450 Cenex locations upgraded to that image in the next 24 months. However, where a lot of the choices and a lot of that flexibility comes into play is in that interior loan portion of the Lyft initiative. And again, it's because we know we have large stores, we have small stores, we have stores in suburbs, we have stores in extremely rural areas, and we cannot take a one-size-fits-all approach. So by allowing this flexibility, both in architecture, style, and amenities, we are allowing our local business partner, who should be the expert and who is the expert in understanding what their local consumers want and need, more so than the Cenex brand from the standpoint that we're at. We think that flexibility is what is really key here. And again, really committing to being that long-term business partner and being that partner to the communities that we serve. And so, we think that the in-store loan portion of this is really what differentiates the Cenex brand and our business partnership proposition. We want our local businesses to succeed. We want to partner in that success. And we're seeing the fruits of that in the first 2 years of this program.
The 2 years that you've rolled out the program have also coincided with two very bumpy years in terms of everything retailers are facing, from the litany of challenges that we face that started with a pandemic in early 2020. So I would imagine that one of the lessons as you roll out this new brand that obviously was planned before the pandemic is that by buying into a vision, buying into a long-term vision of the future, you might be able to weather some of these unexpected hiccups and not be as reactive to the unexpected as we will continue to face the unexpected over the next few years.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, the Lyft initiative was in the planning stages back to early 2018. And when we came to the fall of 2020, when we were going to launch this program, obviously we we were living in the new reality of the pandemic and working from home, and people, consumers driving less, and all of those challenges. However, we knew this is a long game, and we were confident that we would pull out of this, and we saw the opportunity to pull out of this situation with strength and with wind at our back. And whether that was a little bit of luck or being really good, we've arrived there. We're coming out of the pandemic with a much stronger brand than when we were going in. We've got some fantastic newly renovated assets all throughout the communities that we serve, and we want to again instill that trust, develop that level of customer experience and consistency with, again, both our consumers and our business partners. And we're just really excited about the momentum that the Cenex brand has into the future at this point.
Is there anything next for Cenex, or anything that people can learn more about Cenex or the Lift initiative by going online or elsewhere to learn more?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned before, we're not slowing down. There are 2 years left of the Lift initiative. And again, we are well on our way to renovating all 1,450 Cenex stores in the network. So whether you are in the Cenex family now and have more questions, or whether you are not in the Cenex family and considering a new brand, please visit Cenex.com/Lift to learn more about the Lift initiative in the Cenex brand. There's photos out there of projects. So again, encourage anybody interested to please visit Cenex.com/Lift. That's CENEX.com/LIFT.
Well, thank you once again for joining us, Akhtar. Thank you to everybody who listens to Convenience Matters. If you're not already a subscriber, please feel free to do so. We always like more of those. And we'll continue to tell stories weekly. And thank you all for listening to Convenience Matters.
Convenience Matters is brought to you by NACS and produced in partnership with Human Factor. For more information, visit convenience.org.